Hey, what's up, everybody? Rod J back again. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. Tonight, I'm just doing a little upload here rather than going live, but I'm taking a look at one from Crabbie's. It is a Crabbie's original alcoholic beer. And this is actually one that was sent to me by Laura Badish of the Badish Group. They are actually looking to, I guess, reinvigorate or re-expand their lines here in the U.S. with this one, and asked if I would like to check it out. So I said, sure. It's been a long time since I've actually had one from Crabbie, so I'm going to go ahead and see what it tastes like now. They did change the formula back in May of this year, May 19, when they actually started using more barley and wheat into it. So ended up raising the ABV up on it to where it is now a 4.8% ABV. And this one goes back to 1801 with Crabbie's, if you're not familiar with them. Now the thing about this one is, and it does put this on the label, it is a malt beverage with natural flavors and caramel color added. Crabbie's is kind of considered to be a carbonated beverage. It is actually not brewed. It is created really through a ginger steep with the beer itself. Takes up to 6 weeks, and they say it contains 4 different secret ingredients. And typically it is served over ice or chilled. So I'm going to actually have it just chilled here in a pint glass. But if you have it over ice with a lemon slice, I believe it's supposed to give a nice little feel to it. I'm thinking more of a spritzer type feel or something along those lines. Typically sold here in the U.S. and all around the world, different things. But here in the U.S. is actually sold as not being gluten-free. Where in the UK it actually was considered gluten-free, so it might have been something dealing with the levels of what they would consider something to be gluten-free. So if you do have any gluten type allergies, just take that in mind. It might not be something that you're able to enjoy if you do have that happening. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. As far as anything else with it, they sent me a few things here just to give me a little bit of a rundown. They kind of say a flavor forward cider, and beer drinkers are kind of the audience they're shooting for, looking to help to get them out of their comfort zone and enjoying the refreshing ginger spice. And as well as some at-home bartenders and chefs looking for unique spicy twists to a cocktail or a dish. Now, if you saw the unboxing of this video, I did mention they did include a recipe for the Crabbie's Moscow Mule, which is actually 4 ounces of the ginger beer, 1.5 ounce of vodka, and then 1/6 ounce of lime juice combined, all stir gently, garnish with a lime slice. So if you want to make a Crabbie's Moscow Mule, that's what you have right there. Outside of that, nothing really else I'm going to really add into it. You can find a lot of this research, of course, online. Made purely with natural flavors, real harvested Asian ginger roots, and the refreshing ginger is the main ingredient from their secret recipe from 200 plus years ago that has been passed down from generation to generation. So let's go ahead and get this baby open and get it into a glass. See how this one comes out. Now, looking at the bottle, and I'll take a look here again, I didn't notice a date standing out on this one. So that would be one thing I would like for them to actually put on this, and just making sure I didn't miss it anywhere. But I don't see where there's a date on it. So freshness does matter. Neat little bottle. They have a little bit of an engraving on the bottle there too. Gives it a nice little feel. Take a look at this real quick before the head dissipates. They come out with just about 1.5 fingers of head. That's pretty much, really just pretty much white. You got good clarity. You can see some of the carbonation of the bubbles inside. Now it's down to about 1/2 finger, but it has a nice orangish copper type color onto it. And just rechecking everything here on the bottle. And yes, no date is actually shown. Size-wise on the bottles, you're looking at 11.2 ounces that they actually use for these. And of course, it has imported from Edinburgh on there as well. All right, I'm gonna sit that to the side. Get some of the aroma. You get a nice quality of the ginger really coming out. You can definitely pick up the spice of the ginger. It's got a freshness to it. It's almost like a ginger root or a wild ginger root from the aroma really coming off of it. Very crisp, very clean. Not having to sniff really hard, a nice aromatic feel to the ginger beer. Taste-wise, it's got a nice refreshing feel to it. Again, the ginger is noted very well within it. You got a nice refreshing flavor. You can feel it nicely in the cheeks. Goes down very smoothly. Has a nice little quality to it that would actually make it a nice mixer. I could actually see this being done with some other drinks outside of just the vodka, like they mentioned from the Moscow Mule. You could probably play around with this for little things and experiment. It's got a good duration of an aftertaste with it, that the flavors are still lingering around. No escaping that ginger feel. So obviously, being a ginger beer, you want that to come through. But if you're not much of a ginger fan, you're not going to get away from that with this one. Very nice. Get that ginger ale type quality with it as well, with the carbonation. Very light. A beer you could actually chug rather easily if you wanted to do such. Or you can just sit there and relax and enjoy it. The over ice thing's kind of curious. I do have another bottle of that. I may try it to see what it tastes like over ice. Maybe put a lemon slice in it, but I don't think you really need that. I think if you just poured this into a nice glass, you'd be able to enjoy it for what it is right now. It's got a nice, like I said, feel to it. Putting a little bit of a lemon or a lime in there is going to add a little bit more of that fruitiness, but you know me, I'm not huge into fruit in a lot of the beers. I like to drink them straight up and get the flavors out of it, but with this one, kind of like they do with Blue Moon, they're kind of putting that out there for you to try it that way, so maybe I will. It's got a nice sweetness to it. And overall, it's pretty decent. So I don't know how many of you have tried the Crabbies. If you have, let me know what you think about it by putting some comments in the comment section. I think before it used to be maybe 4% on this one. It's, like I said, it's now 4.8, and that might have came from the introduction of what I was reading online of the barley and the wheat, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, it's a nice feel. I do like the taste of ginger, and that is the driving factor of it. So again, this is the Crabbies, and this is their original. It is definitely something a little different, and glad I got a chance to revisit after all these years. Thanks to Laura and her group, as well as Crabbies, for providing the samples. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. I look forward to catching you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Maybe try something a little different. Try a ginger beer. And remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. I will talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better come